We got Caitlin Clark finally on a Team USA. We got her, hopefully, running the show. Will she start? Fuck no. Zero chance that she starts. Why won't she start? Because that's the way Team USA works. She could literally be the MVP favourite and she would not start over Chelsea Gray. Because right now, if we're being real, she's second in MVP. She is second in MVP race right now, and she's not going to start. So, if we're being real, The
silence was finally broken. And it wasn't a whisper, it was a roar that changed the trajectory of women's basketball forever. When Caitlin Clark finally donned that USA jersey, the world stopped. But Diana Taurasi's reaction was the real bombshell. For months, the media painted a picture of a bitter legend waiting to humble a rising star. But the moment it became official, Taurasi let the truth slip. This wasn't just about a rookie joining a team, it was about the passing of a torch that many thought Taurasi would never let go of. The reality didn't just come for Caitlin, it came for everyone who doubted her place among the legends of the game. The veteran didn't just acknowledge her, she effectively anointed her as the next in line to carry the heavy burden of excellence.
There is pressure wearing certain numbers. There is pressure that comes with things. And I think as well with Taurasi, if I'm Diana Taurasi, or even if I'm Paige Beckers, you're not... I don't want to say this, but I don't think Taurasi would want Paige Beckers to have to deal with the pressure of following her up. Because I think Paige would struggle with that. And again, I don't think Paige is a bad player. I think Paige is really good. I think Paige is going to do really well for this team. But I think Paige struggled with after her freshman year having to carry UConn.
And let's get one thing straight, because the debate is already heating up. Caitlin Clark is not going to start for Team USA. Even if she is the MVP favorite in the eyes of the fans, the internal politics of the national team are set in stone. There is absolutely zero chance she takes the floor before Chelsea Gray. And that is a reality Taurasi understands better than anyone else. In this program, seniority isn't just a suggestion, it is the law. You could be the greatest scorer the college game has ever seen, but you still have to pay your dues behind the veterans who have already secured the gold. This hierarchy is what makes the team legendary, but it also creates a massive amount of tension as the new face of the league tries to find her footing among the giants of the international stage.
We have a true 1A beside Paige. She's going to be great, but I can see Caitlin wanting to take this on. I can see Team USA wanting to give it to Caitlin. And I can see her wanting to take over. I can see her saying, you know what, I'm going to keep up the Taurasi legacy. And it takes balls. It does. It really, really does. That's absolutely something that a lot of people would turn down or be a bit scared of or just not want, period.
Despite the bench role, the most shocking part of this debut is the jersey number itself. There has been a quiet storm brewing behind the scenes regarding who gets to wear what. For the longest time, the national team stuck to the traditional 4 through 15 numbering system. Taurasi herself wore 13 because she wasn't allowed to have her preferred 15. But now things are changing. Rumors suggest that Taurasi didn't just allow Clark to take over her legacy, she practically handed it to her. It takes incredible guts to step into the shoes of a woman who has won 6 Olympic gold medals and played until she was 42. Clark isn't just wearing a jersey, she is wearing the expectations of a nation that expects nothing less than total world dominance.
That's absolutely something that a lot of people would turn down or be a bit scared of or just not want, period. To have to follow on from Diana Taurasi for Team USA. A player who has won 6 Olympics? Played till she was 42 in the Olympics. Who's 3-time champion, 2-time finals MVP, and MVP, 11-time All-Star, 10 times first team, 4 times second team. 5-time scoring champion. Has an assist title, I think. Yeah, has 1 assist.
Taurasi's cosign is a bigger deal than anyone realizes because she doesn't hand out compliments like candy. Back in February and March, the tension was palpable. But something shifted once they actually stepped onto the court together. Taurasi saw something in Clark that she didn't see in other rising stars like Paige Bueckers. While Paige is an incredible talent, there's a feeling that she might struggle with the sheer weight of being the primary leader. Clark, on the other hand, seems to crave that pressure. She wants to be the one running the show, even if she has to start from the bench. Taurasi recognized that killer instinct immediately, seeing a reflection of her own relentless mentality in the way the rookie handles the spotlight and the scrutiny of the professional level.
To live up to Diana Taurasi, and I think if anyone's up to that, it'll be Caitlin. I think it will be Caitlin Clark, and I think Taurasi knows that. And I think Taurasi knows that Paige is a different human. Like, I think we all can kind of understand, and you can see with the way their interactions are with each other. Like I have no doubt about that Taurasi thinks Paige is one of the best players in the world, because she is. I mean, she absolutely is. But you can see with the way their reactions are. Taurasi, Caitlin's the closest thing to Taurasi mentality-wise. There's a reason why Caitlin Clark is coming into this league, and it's...
The comparison between Clark and Bueckers has sparked a massive internal debate among the coaching staff and veterans. Many believe that Paige is the perfect second option, the ultimate 1B to a strong 1A, but Caitlin Clark doesn't want to be anyone's second option. She has the balls to take on the legacy of a 3-time champion and a 2-time finals MVP. Taurasi knows that following her up is a task that would make most players crumble. You're talking about a player with 11 All-Star appearances and 10 first-team selections. To even attempt to fill that void requires a level of arrogance and confidence that only a few possess. Taurasi's silence wasn't about hate, it was a test to see if Clark was strong enough to survive the storm that was coming.
See, Caitlin's the closest thing to Taurasi mentality-wise. There's a reason why Caitlin Clark is coming into this league, and it's reality is coming. She's not going to be good. While at the same time, oh yeah, she's hyping up Paige at the same time as all this reality is coming. During that Final Four, it's like, you look superhuman as 18-year-olds. You're not going to be good in the league. While hyping up Paige. Everybody knows that, especially looking how it was after that first game, when Caitlin Clark was 1 rebound off off the first ever rookie triple.
The reality of the situation hit home during their first real encounter on the professional stage. Everyone remembers the "reality is coming" comment Taurasi made during the Final Four, which many took as a slight, but looking back, it was the ultimate challenge. When the Fever faced off against the Mercury, Clark was just 1 rebound away from a triple-double in her very first game against the legend. She was scoring or assisting on almost every single point for her team, turning a 10-point deficit into a 15-point lead. Taurasi had a front-row seat to the best rookie guard performance the league had seen in decades, including her own debut. It was in that moment that the veteran realized the torch wasn't just being passed, it was being snatched away with authority.
Everybody knows that, especially looking how it was after that first game, when Caitlin Clark was 1 rebound off off the first ever rookie triple-double in her first game against Taurasi. And the Fever went from down 10 to up 15 in that game. With Caitlin scoring or assisting on everything bar 2 points. I think everybody knew after that game, and people were talking about it as the passing of the torch. It was that, she had a front row seat to what was, at the time, the best rookie guard to ever play, and that includes her.
The poetic nature of this transition is almost too perfect to be true. There was a moment where it looked like the Mercury might actually land the number 1 pick, which would have put Clark and Taurasi on the same roster. That would have been the ultimate passing of the torch, a season-long mentorship that would have broken every viewership record in history. Instead, they are meeting as rivals and teammates on the national squad. Taurasi has won everything there is to win, 6 EuroLeague titles and 5 scoring championships. She knows her time is drawing to a close, and she seems surprisingly at peace with Clark being the one to take over the mantle. It's a rare show of grace from a competitor known for her fire and her refusal to back down.
Even how they play necessarily, like even their like relentlessness, and everything, and and attitude towards the game. It's the closest things to Taurasi. Like, it is absolutely the closest thing to Diana Taurasi. That being said, I also think Caitlin Clark wanted this. I don't really see Caitlin Clark not wanting to be the player to take over, whereas I can see a lot of other players not being scared of it, but not wanting to be that player that takes over from Diana. Like, I think
the pressure on Clark right now is unlike anything we have ever seen in women's sports. She isn't just expected to play well. She is expected to save the league and maintain the gold standard of the national team. Wearing that USA jersey for the first time made it official in a way that a draft pick never could. It signaled to the world that the old guard is ready to let the next generation lead. But make no mistake, the transition won't be seamless. There will be growing pains, and there will be moments where the veterans remind her exactly who is in charge. Taurasi's break in silence served as a reminder that while the future belongs to Clark, the present still belongs to the legends who built the foundation she's standing on. There's a specific kind of relentlessness that you only see once in a generation. Taurasi has it, and she sees it in Clark. It's not just about the shooting or the passing. It's the attitude toward the game. It's the willingness to be the villain if that's what it takes to win. A lot of players would be scared to follow Diana Taurasi because of the sheer shadow she casts over the sport. She's the player who played until she was 42 at the highest level. She's the one with the assist titles and the scoring records. To step into that role requires a certain level of insanity. Taurasi's recent comments suggest she finally believes Clark has that exact brand of madness needed to keep Team USA at the top of the podium. The internal team dynamics are shifting as we speak. With the jersey debut, the hierarchy of the locker room is being tested. Veterans who have been there for multiple Olympic cycles are watching closely to see how the rookie carries herself. It's not just about the fans or the jersey sales. It's about the respect of the women who have bled for that jersey. Taurasi's public support acts as a shield for Clark, protecting her from some of the inevitable backlash that comes with such a meteoric rise. If the GOAT says you're ready, the rest of the room has to listen. But even with that protection, Clark still has to prove herself on the court every single day to show she's not just a media phenom, but a true gold medalist. The statistics from that first matchup between the two were staggering. Clark wasn't just holding her own, she was dominating the flow of the game. When you look at how the Fever shifted from being down 10 to being up 15, you see the impact of a generational floor general. Taurasi has seen every type of player in her 20-year career, and she knew immediately that this was different. She wasn't just watching a rookie. She was watching a mirror image of her younger self. The passing of the torch isn't a friendly ceremony. It's a battle. And in that battle, Clark proved she could handle the heat, the trash talk, and the physical play that Taurasi is famous for. It was the moment the "reality is coming" warning Taurasi gave became a new world order point. One of the most fascinating aspects of this story is the number tradition in Team USA. For years, players were restricted to a very narrow range of numbers, which often felt like a straitjacket for players who had built their brands on specific digits. Taurasi spoke about the struggle of being forced into number 13 when she really wanted 15. Now the rules have loosened, and Clark's ability to pick her own path is symbolic of the new era. It's about more than just a number on a jersey. It's about the freedom to be an individual within a team-first culture. Taurasi's willingness to see the tradition evolve shows that she's not just a relic of the past, but a leader who understands that the game has to grow to survive. The debate over whether Clark or Buchers is the true heir to the throne continues to divide fans. While Paige has the elegance and the skill, Clark has the raw power and the personality that demands attention. Taurasi has been seen hyping up Paige in the past, but her reaction to Clark's debut felt more substantial. It felt like an acknowledgement of a peer. There is a difference between liking a player and respecting a competitor. Taurasi respects the way Clark attacks the game without fear. She knows that in the Olympics, when the stakes are at their highest and the pressure is suffocating, you need someone who isn't afraid to take the shot that could define their career. That is the quality that Clark possesses in spades. The fallout from Taurasi's silence breaking has been massive across social media. Critics who once claimed she was hating on the rookie have been forced to eat their words. The truth is much more complex. Taurasi is a protector of the game's standards. She didn't want to give Clark the crown. She wanted her to earn it. By waiting until the USA jersey debut to truly embrace the rookie's arrival, she ensured that the hype was backed up by reality. It was a calculated move by a veteran who knows exactly how the media cycle works. Now that the cosign is official, the narrative has shifted from a rivalry to a partnership, one that could lead to one of the most dominant Olympic runs in the history of the sport. The numbers don't lie when it comes to Taurasi's legacy. 6 gold medals is a feat that seems almost impossible to repeat. When you add in the scoring titles and the MVP awards, you realize the mountain Clark is trying to climb. But if you listen to the insiders, Taurasi is actually excited about the challenge Clark presents. She's not looking to hold on to her records forever. She wants to see the game elevated to new heights. The fact that Clark is already second in the MVP race as a rookie is something that even Taurasi finds impressive. It's a level of immediate impact that we haven't seen since the league's inception, and it's forcing the legends to rethink what is possible for a first-year player. Behind the scenes, the interaction between these two has been far more cordial than the public realizes. While the media loves a good queen versus princess storyline, the reality is built on mutual respect. Taurasi has been in the spotlight since she was a teenager at UConn, and she knows the toll it takes. She sees Clark navigating that same storm and recognizes a kindred spirit. "The reality is coming" comment was a warning about the physical and mental grind of the pro league, not a dismissal of Clark's talent. Now that Clark has survived the first few months and earned her spot on the national team, Taurasi is ready to be the mentor that the world never expected her to be. The impact on the Indiana Fever cannot be overstated. Since Clark's arrival, the team has seen a total transformation in identity and performance. They went from a struggling franchise to a team that can compete with anyone, including Taurasi's Mercury. This surge in performance was the final piece of evidence Taurasi needed. It showed that Clark wasn't just a volume shooter who could fill up a stat sheet. She was a winner who could elevate an entire organization. That is the hallmark of a true superstar, and it's the primary reason she was given the nod for the USA roster. Despite the intense competition for those 12 coveted spots, the jersey debut was just the outward sign of an inward transformation. There's a certain 1A mentality that you can't teach. You either have it or you don't. Taurasi has had it since day one, and it's what allowed her to stay at the top for over 2 decades. Many players are content being the 1B, the reliable second option who doesn't have to deal with the soul-crushing pressure of the final shot. But Clark, like Taurasi, wants the ball when the game is on the line. She wants the scrutiny. She wants the blame if they lose and the glory if they win. This shared psychological makeup is why their connection is so profound. It's a brotherhood or sisterhood of elite competitors who speak a language that only they can truly understand. As we look toward the upcoming international competitions, the question remains, how will the minutes be distributed? Even with Taurasi's blessing, the coaching staff has a difficult puzzle to solve. Integrating a high-usage player like Clark into a system filled with established stars is a delicate process. But with Taurasi acting as the bridge between the old guard and the new, the transition is likely to be much smoother than anticipated. She can command the respect of the veterans while guiding the rookie through the nuances of international play. It's a role that Taurasi seems to be embracing as she enters the final chapter of her storied career, ensuring that her legacy is left in the most capable hands possible. The passing of the torch is a phrase that gets thrown around a lot in sports, but this time it feels different. It feels permanent. When Clark stepped onto the court in that number for the first time, it was a signal that the WNBA's future had officially arrived. Taurasi's silence wasn't just broken, it was shattered by the sheer force of Clark's performance. The league is seeing a massive influx of new fans, many of whom are there specifically to see the rookie. Taurasi knows that this attention is good for the sport she spent her life building. Her support of Clark is a strategic move to ensure that the momentum doesn't fade when she finally decides to hang up her sneakers for good. We have to talk about the balls it takes to do what Caitlin is doing. To walk into a league with this much hype and actually deliver on it is nearly impossible. Most rookies hit a wall or get intimidated by the physical play of veterans who want to put them in their place. But Clark has been taking hits and giving them right back. Taurasi loves that. She loves the grit. She loves the fact that Clark doesn't back down from a confrontation. Whether it's a hard foul or a bit of trash talk, Clark stays focused on the goal. That mental toughness